Well, other cities have been targeted by hackers as well. Raya Katene looked into their experience to try to get an idea of the scope of this attack. Raya?
One thing that'll be very telling, Julie, is just how quickly the city is able to bring its services back online. The cybersecurity professional I talked to said that if the city does restore its services within the next couple of days, that's a pretty good indication that they have a good handle of what it is that's going on. But if this does drag on, he says it could mean that they're facing a pretty sophisticated threat. Big questions are swirling around Minnesota's capital city.
They're in some trouble.
After St. Paul leaders revealed they're working to stop a cyber attack several days after it began on Friday.
They're in a situation where things got bad enough they chose to take down most of their critical infrastructure in order to keep the bad people from doing more bad things. That's the nuclear option.
A cybersecurity expert with more than 2 decades of experience, Bryce Austin says time will tell just how extensive this attack is, how people will be impacted, and what the responsible party is after.
Most of the time, these bad guys are after money. That's their goal, plain and simple. But that's not always the case.
That was the case in several previous cyber attacks on major cities across the country, including in Atlanta, Dallas, and Columbus.
It took several days for the city government here to finally admit that there was a cybersecurity attack.
Lacey Crisp is a crime and public safety reporter in Columbus who covered the attack extensively and is still following the aftermath a year later. In total, about how many people would you say were affected by this?
Hundreds of thousands. Anyone who visited the city of Columbus was impacted, whether you parked in the city of Columbus and used the app, whether you had visited City Hall and you'd scanned your driver's license. There were a handful of Columbus police officers who had money taken out of their bank accounts.
Back at home, Austin says answers to the big questions could take anywhere from days to months. But in the meantime, there's no need to panic.
We've got a lot of people trying to make this situation better.
The city of Columbus is still facing multiple lawsuits stemming from that attack. And now, more than a year later, the city still has not released a comprehensive official investigation report. I will say that back here at home, I did reach out to Ramsey County today. They tell me their operations have not been affected. So this is isolated and specific to the city of St. Paul, Julie.
All right, still a lot to learn for sure. Thank you, Raya.